This is the Cardinal Cowboy Show.
Giddy up! Woo! Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're live in the Cardinal Cowboy studio again. I always find the method to find leaders in the community, Kevin. I'm calling you out as a leader in the community. Is that okay?
That's fine.
And I know you've been.
I'll take it.
As I find the people who are helping to run this little city and make things happen, and the people who are involved with the companies that make that happen.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome here to Kevin Pannebecker, and he is the Vice President of Marketing for UPKEEP. You can see UPKEEP Home Warranty and Maintenance, and a company based here in St. Louis, right?
It is, yep.
And that's what we love to focus on. And when you get to meet people that are influential like yourself, I don't know, I guess I've run into you and known you for, I'd say almost 10 years, is it?
I think that's about right.
Are we at 10 years at this point?
That's right.
You're just somebody that I've always looked to as somebody you can talk to, have a conversation about just about anything.
Thank you.
And you always got that positive perspective on life.
Yeah.
And it's like hard to live life any other way. I've seen some
Especially
people
nowadays.
Tell us a little bit about your business, where you're at with what you're doing, how long you've been going at this, and kind of the excitement you've got. Because I'm familiar with the people who help. I've done a lot of work with the people who help service auto warranty cars, stuff, and that's a big industry here in St. Louis, kind of the capital.
Yep.
And now I know that's you can save people a lot of money by helping the maintenance.
Absolutely.
and to warrant these.
Right.
'Cause manufacturers don't like to have to fix their stuff for too long.
No.
And then they go, well, we'll come fix it for you, $90 an hour plus parts, and it gets to be expensive. You've got a solution for that.
We do.
Okay.
All right, as you mentioned, we're the only home warranty company that's actually based in St. Louis. And we are the only home warranty company that in the nation that provides quarterly maintenance visits. We come out 4 times a year to make sure that everything is being properly maintained within the home. And that also includes things like the spring and fall clean and check on your heating and cooling system. So you don't need a separate heating and cooling contract. And we use our employees to do the work. So anytime somebody's coming out, they're going to wear a logoed shirt. They're going to have a nice company wrapped van. And so you can feel very comfortable that the people that are coming in know what they're doing, and that there are actually employees, not some kind of a contractor.
Okay, yeah. So how many people do realize that when you own a home, one of the key elements towards that home is the maintenance, right?
Exactly.
Sadly, a lot of people recently we've had a change in the family structure at the homestead. And so my dad he's moved to the next level, but now that leaves my mother with the responsibilities, and she's actually had that responsibility for 5 years. My dad suffered a stroke, but these are situations that affect the stuff you're talking about. And so my mom's going, I can't swing a hammer. I don't know how to bust rocks. I don't know how to gutters, roofing, you name it.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what it is that your company really does do to help people with those kinds of issues. I mean, there's a lot of people. I know my dad happened to be a guy who used to be able to do some of that stuff. As he got older, he didn't want to do any of that stuff.
Right.
There's like a time frame between you start to become an owner of a home when you're about 25, and then until you're about 35, then you're like, those are the 10 years I could do this, and unless I had those skills, all the rest of it needs to be done by somebody else.
That's right.
And you don't want to get overcharged. You don't want to blow a bunch of money on it. Tell us how that works for your clients and the people that use your service.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, I don't want to get up on a ladder anymore. But the home warranty people, you mentioned home warranty somebody, and they typically will roll their eyes and they've had a bad experience with it and so forth. And so what we've tried to do is actually fix the problems with a lot of the other home warranty companies that are out there. And there are 4 main complaints that came about existing home warranties. And the first one is they'll deny a claim due to lack of maintenance. Well, our employees are the ones that are doing the maintenance, so we can't deny a claim due to lack of maintenance. The second one was you could never tell who was going to come out to your home to do the work, the quality of the contractor, or even whether you wanted that person to come into your home or not. You just had no idea. So we solved that by making sure we're using our employees, and we've done background checks, so we know that they're good people. The third main question people had was you could never talk to the same person twice. You would call some call center, who knows where. You might get somebody very helpful on the phone today, but just a complete and utter jerk in a few weeks. And you just could not figure out, what was the best way to navigate through all of these other people that you had to talk to. And the fourth one was the contract was just extremely hard to read and understand. So we've tried to solve all of those issues by placing people here locally. We assign somebody called a home manager to that home who has been in the home, has gone to see the homeowner. We get a record of the model and serial numbers of the things that we're covering. And we're meeting the people face to face, we're meeting their dog, those types of things. And that is the person who the client calls if there's any questions or any concerns about anything that's going on. And it's also the home manager's responsibility to schedule those 4 maintenance visits per year. The nice thing we say is that, the other home warranty companies will sell you a warranty and then hope you don't call them.
Right.
Right? Well, we have to call you because we have to schedule the 4 maintenance visits.
And so is that one of the key differences between what you do and what I've seen with other companies? That is effectively, they offer you the service. They're going to say, hey, if you have a problem, call us.
Right.
I think my mom has had something along those lines. And
Yeah.
then they came out and they said, well, it's making a lot of noise, but it's not broken. The dishwasher
Right.
was not broken. It still was going, wasn't the noise that you
Yeah,
expect.
exactly.
But until it got to the point where it was making that kind of a noise, there was no maintenance done.
No.
And so is it true that a lot of the other home warranty companies, they don't do a maintenance perspective, which could circumvent a lot of the issues?
Absolutely.
But that's when they go, oh, well, there's the maintenance you didn't do, and therefore this isn't covered.
Exactly
Is
right.
that kind of what happens a lot of times too?
Almost exactly. I mean, but again, no other warranty company does any maintenance at all.
So you're exclusive with
We're
it.
it. Yeah. I mean, their model is, again, they sell you a warranty and they hope you don't call them.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. If you call them and it's not broken, they'll tell you, well, you give us a call when it's broken, and then we'll come back out and we'll fix it.
Right.
Right. Well, no, let's do the preventive stuff first. Let's make sure it stays running in running order, because the last thing you want is your air conditioning to go out in the middle of an August day in St. Louis, right? And if you can get it maintained and get it working properly beforehand, you won't have that problem with it going out.
Well, that to me is where the rubber hits the road. I mean, that's the conundrum, I guess I'm talking about too.
Yeah,
The people,
yeah.
they end up saying,
Yeah.
well, I've got this problem. I know I've got a service contract on it. And then the maintenance wasn't included.
Right.
So then they're saying, well, you didn't properly maintain. Now it's not covered.
That's right.
You're covering both of those sides because,
Yep.
yeah, I know boy, I'm guilty. I have, I don't know how many times I've been told I need to change my filters.
Sure.
On the house, right? What size is it? 1 inch, 24. But what kind of filter size do I have? And then if that doesn't get done, that causes wear and tear on it. That's touching your home HVAC, the heating and cooling.
Yep.
And then you've got a series of other problems, all that if the maintenance piece had just been maintained properly,
Right. That's correct.
Now you don't have the issues that you would have had. So, gosh, it's almost worth it just to have you guys come in just for the maintenance part of it.
Sure.
And then when they do have an issue, they know exactly what that issue is.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Absolutely.
And it makes talk a little bit about that, how this works. If somebody says, got a problem, here's the steps that they go through to get this resolved and what's been taken care of for them.
Well, there's a couple things. First off, we're scheduling those maintenance visits in advance, okay? But in between those maintenance visits, if something's going wrong, they call their home manager and they say, hey, I've got this issue going on with my dishwasher, okay? We say, all right, we'll send a technician out there right away, and we can diagnose what's going on with it. If we need to get the part to replace it or whatever, we'll just get the part and replace it. And there is only a $75 charge, for a claim like that. And that includes parts and labor inclusive. It's not,
Oh, wow.
So it's not in addition. It's
Okay.
just $75. People have asked, does that even mean like air conditioners or furnaces? And it's absolutely, because we had one client just this past summer, air conditioning went out. They'd been in the house for about a month, and it went out. It was completely fried. And so we replaced their full air conditioning system, and it was for $75. So that was their cost. That was the agreement that we had with them. But by going out and doing that quarterly maintenance, we're able to stop a lot of these issues before they even become a problem. And so we're able to take care of things before they have a problem, like you say, replacing the furnace filter, cleaning the dryer vent.
Yeah,
getting that set up
basic
out of there.
things that
Yeah,
people
just
forget about.
absolutely
Burn up a dryer.
Yeah, absolutely right. And it's a fire hazard as well. So you get the dryer lint out of there and it's safer that way. But you flush a water heater once a year. And that helps that maintain that water heater, and it also makes sure that we know that it's working properly when we do so. So it's just really more of a preventive, much higher level of customer service than anybody has ever seen before.
So tell me a little bit of the list of things that people need. What all is covered? So I can think of, I've got a washer, I got a dryer.
Yeah.
I've got, some people have a garbage disposal, but maybe not as often. But you definitely have plumbing all over the place.
Absolutely.
Toilets,
Yeah.
faucets,
Yeah.
sinks, showers. Oh boy. Heater, water heater, right?
Yeah.
Air conditioning. And then you've got your heat furnace, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What am I missing? Is it covering all of that stuff? And I guess it depends on what are your what.
No,
how do you,
it
how do you help
is.
people?
Our flagship program, we call it the All Systems program. That covers electrical wiring. It covers plumbing.
Electrical wiring.
Yeah, so like maybe, which means outlets, it could be covered, it could include the, switches, things along those lines. It includes plumbing. So if there's a leak or something along those lines, we'll help pinpoint the leak and fix it so there's no longer a leak. It does cover all appliances. And our definition of appliances is a little bit more broad than maybe some of the other ones, because some of the other companies will actually charge you extra for a washer and dryer. Well, we think a washer and dryer is an appliance. So that will count, yeah.
Some people don't count that as an appliance.
No, they don't count it as an appliance. And so so the full appliances, just like you're saying, the range, the oven, the refrigerator, the garbage disposal, built-in microwaves, the washer, the dryer, the water heater, even the garage door opener. So, and then the major things are, again, the appliances that we mentioned, but also the heating and cooling system, which is a big deal here in St. Louis, making sure you've got your AC in the summer and you've got your heat in the winter. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think. So it's just virtually anything in a house.
Yeah.
The dishwasher.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about that.
Yeah.
That's the one. It seems I'm on my second dishwasher. There's the argument being made by one of my biggest fan that we need a new dishwasher, and I was like, we're just going to hand wash things. We don't have enough people running around here. But it's because I don't want to pay for that. But had I had the home warranty on there.
Yep.
Even the dishwasher, it's a very movable, usable, lots of moving parts in there.
Yes, there is.
And it's the one that it seems at least, and my mother's having the same problem. But man, just imagine to remove that stress from all of that. I mean, tell me kind of, this is where I analyze for my clients and my prospective friends and just what I do in the community, try to always highlight and just help people to understand where's the break even, where's the cost value for somebody that says, I want this service contract, I want this policy in place because I can tell based on these things that I have and the frequency with regard to maintenance and the breakdown ratio. And I used to do this for computers back in the day, but I sold service contracts myself for these little newfangled electronic devices called computers, and it was inevitable. I would show them, here's the statistical breakdown rate for all the different manufacturers, and one I won't name because they're out of business now, but maybe I could because they're out of business. But they would break down 33% of the time within 12 months. Another computer manufacturer, they were down to 22% of the time. But if you did the math over 4 years, even only at 22% of the time, you had an 88% chance in 4 years you were going to have something. Then it was a matter of, was it going to be a minimal repair or are they going to be replacing the whole thing?
That's right.
How does that play out, and what are some of the costs? Like I said, the breakdown to say, here's the ratio. We know when people are going to have things that break, and here's what they end up paying. But because they use our service, it saves them a whole lot of money. Can you explain that a little bit to me and help me?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things we did when we were doing our research early on to bring out the product, we were able to purchase some actuarial data from some other home warranty companies where we could determine, and we found out that they had like 1.4 claims per contract throughout the year of the contract, if you will, okay? And so we thought, well, if we're doing a preventive maintenance program on a 4 times a year basis, we think that number is going to come down. And so we had initially made the assumptions that it might be maybe 0.9, per contract, that type of a thing. But what we're finding in the real world is actually like 0.7. So it's basically half of what the other companies are seeing as far as the claims. And that makes a big difference, not only as far as the profitability of what we're able to do, but it also makes it easier for us to maintain what's going on, within that person's home, because we know that only so many clients are going to have this problem with the warranties overall. So.
Okay, so now I'm putting this together. I touched on. Sometimes it takes me a minute, and I can imagine a lot of people they've got to figure this out. So the maintenance is what causes them to not cover it because it wasn't properly. It's like if you don't change your oil in your car, try to get your next repair done under warranty.
Exactly.
Ain't happening, right?
That's exactly right.
And so now you're saying, hey, we can bring down the cost for everyone because we're going to do a little bit of maintenance that's necessary, that's a lot less expensive than sending somebody in to do the labor and the parts and a full breakdown or full repair. But now, because we brought down the breakdown ratio, we're doing a whole lot less repairs.
Right, exactly.
And that ends up saving everybody money and
hassle.
And hassle, time is money too. You sit here and wait for the cable guy to show up. And I know that's different. Or you wait for the plumber to show up, and then you got to take a half day off, or you got to. Now we're all working from home a little bit more often now, but you still have other things that you need to be doing.
That's right.
And it's a distraction. And what's your time worth? Yeah. So now I'm beginning to understand the game here. This is these guys. How do they? Well, if they don't cover it because there's a matter of maintenance, then they're off the hook to begin with.
Right.
Now you're taking care of that issue because you're maintaining. Well, how many people do not properly maintain their everything? I mean, it's just a matter of, you can go down the list.
Probably most.
And I'd say, guilty. I've had, I don't know how many items in it, and there's maintenance things that need to be done that you don't even know about unless you have at least been adept to that industry to a certain extent, or you have a good friend who says, by the way, keep this thing. I mean, the lint thing, kind of, you know that one about the washer and the dryer in that case. But man, I would imagine there's some things you've got probably a checklist to say, here's 15 things for that one item that have to be properly, the seals. Tell me a little bit about some of that stuff that you catch, you help people to understand, and it all ends up making this work for everybody.
Well, again, I mean, it's something just as simple as flushing the water heater. I mean, how many people have actually flushed their water heaters? You know,
You flush a water heater.
See what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. All right. You're supposed to do that?
Yeah.
I've only been here 16 years.
About once a
at my
year is a
house.
good thing. You know, we have hard water here in St. Louis, right?
Yes.
And so you get a lot of calcium and lime buildup in the bottom of the water heater, and that's going to make it fail. It's going to make it harder for it to heat water, right? Because there's more junk in the bottom.
Yep.
It can actually contribute to rust, which would rust out the bottom of the water heater, you know, and that's a problem because then you've got that issue.
Nobody wants that.
No, but by flushing it out, it makes it much more efficient, you know, and it gets rid of a lot of that calcium and lime. It makes it more efficient. It makes the burner burn better, so you get the hot water maintained level, you know, that can be maintained better. It's just a different way of looking at things and making sure that no problems occur down the road. And the other part of it too is because we're using our employees to do the work, we've got complete control over the quality control. You know, because if I tell you someone's going to be here at 8:30, I'm not giving you a range. I'm giving you a time.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so you don't have this 4-hour window, right?
Right.
Okay? So
we all dread the 4-hour window.
the 4-hour window. Yeah. So we say, okay, they're going to be here at 8:30. The technician's name is such and such. You know, they're going to be out here. You know, they're going to have a shirt on. It's got their name on it and their logo on it, and you know who's there, and you can be comfortable with them coming into your home. Yeah.
So now that I think about the draining of my water heater, 16 years, going on 17 here. What are you doing later? Can you take a look at my?
I'm not gonna
You're
do
not
it.
the technical guy.
I'm not the guy.
But you've highlighted. Now we're going. Oh boy, things are ticking up here. This is something that becomes a major issue. What's your biggest repair when it comes down to it? What are people calling you most often about? Or what do you? And second question, follow up to that. What do you feel you do best? What kind of repairs do you keep from happening most often that most people otherwise they're going to run into?
Probably the biggest repair is in the appliance area, just as a kind of a general category, you know, because it could be a washer, a dryer, it could be a dishwasher. And so because it's a big category, that's where the biggest amount of the repairs are. But a lot of times it's simply replacing a piece, you know, that went bad, or maybe there's something that's leaking in the dishwasher and it's just a valve that has to be replaced. It doesn't have to be replace the whole dishwasher. Those types of things. The second one is leaks, plumbing leaks, you know, because water kind of goes where it wants to go, and you know, you've got to make sure that everything is tightened down. We repair, you know, wobbly toilets. That's one of the biggest problems that people have, is that why you have a leak is that you've got a wobbly toilet, and you go in there and just replace what's called the wax ring underneath it. And
Wobbly toilet, okay.
Yeah, and then the third one is going to be heating and cooling. And that's just because it's a major item, but again, if you're able to go in there and do cleaning checks on your heating and cooling equipment on, you know, twice a year basis, you can maintain the life of those and make it last much longer than you normally could.
Okay, so what do you help people save on? What's the number one save thing that was otherwise going to break?
Yeah.
It was going to be a big expense for them.
Yeah.
And now you can, by stats at least, because it doesn't break down because you kept it from breaking down.
Sure.
But you know, statistically, boy, these people would have spent this much money fixing this thing. It's just a matter of time.
Well, the biggest expense that everybody fears, of course, is air conditioning or furnace.
Yeah.
Right.
You're $2,500 minimum just for half of that. Right?
Absolutely right. That's right. Yeah. And so what we're able to do with just the clean and checks on the air conditioning and the furnace is that we're making sure that all the equipment is properly cleaned and properly operating, properly oiled. We have a couple people on staff that are HVAC certified, so they have the EPA certifications that they need, so they can recover refrigerant and add refrigerant if they need to. And a lot of times what happens is, in the old warranty world, if someone says you have to replace the air conditioner because it's not working, it might simply be as small as a $12 part, honestly, that has failed. And they're called a capacitor. Every time I call them a capacitor, people think of, you know, Back to the Future and, you know, flux capacitors.
The flux capacitor,
the flux
right.
capacitor, right. But it's a capacitor. It's a piece that goes inside there that can fail over time. And as long as it's working properly, the AC works great. And because we don't have an interest in trying to replace a whole new air conditioning system or a whole new furnace system, we want to keep everything working as best we possibly can. But if it gets to a point where it can't keep running, we replace it. Like I mentioned in the example of the air conditioner earlier this year, in 2020.
Okay, so now you're hitting on all the stuff. I mean, when you add this thing up, it just seems to be kind of a no-brainer. My dad had talked to me for many years and said, Carter, you always buy a service warranty on everything.
Sure.
Because it just saves you money in the long term.
In the long term.
The people that they can't afford a few extra bucks, the ones that end up costing themselves
Yep.
a lot more money
That's right.
later.
Yeah.
Is that the case, and pretty much what you've proven with your model, I would assume?
Absolutely right, because again, and by doing that maintenance that you're talking about, I mean, it helps keep those things running. Plus, we do something that we think is kind of fun, is that we actually do something called 15 maintenance minutes per quarter. So while our technicians are at your home, maybe you've got a high light bulb or a high smoke detector battery and you don't want to get up on a ladder to change those. Our technicians can climb the ladder and take care of those kind of things for you. We had a client who had been saving up her maintenance minutes because they roll over, so you have basically an hour of like a honeydew list that you can use throughout the course of the year. She wanted to replace all the shower heads in her home. Okay, so she bought the shower heads, the ones that she wanted to have in her home. Okay, and while we were there, she wanted to use her maintenance minutes for us to install those shower heads, and it didn't cost her a dime. We were able to use the maintenance minutes, took off the old shower head, put on the new shower heads, made sure they weren't leaking, and she's pleased, you know, because she had all these things replaced and it didn't cost her another dime.
So she'd accrued essentially maintenance
minutes
time that could be not because they were coming in for a repair, but just for a minor upgrade that she did on her own.
Exactly.
I've did replace the shower head in my shower not too long ago. You could just see the lime and what all builds up on there. It just looks kind of daunting. And I'm like, that thing's kind of old, and I'd been walking by somewhere. Maybe I was at Lowe's, and I'm like, that shower head looks pretty cool. It looks like it gives a wider. You could really, and the demo showed. But I was adept enough with my limited mechanical skills to go ahead and input that and put that thing on.
Right.
But for the average person, I mean, you mess that thing up, and now you're looking at additional repair you've got to do because you threaded it on sideways, and it's leaking now, and it doesn't work, and now you got to replace the pipe that goes to that.
Exactly.
And so that's just part of all what you get. That's an additional benefit of what you guys are doing to help people that just, you've got maintenance time available. You need these filters changed, no charge.
You need a lock adjusted. You know, maybe a cabinet door needs to be tightened down. Something like that that's been bugging you. You know, we can do those things for you. So it's very simple. And we just, it's just, a more matter of maintaining a higher level of customer service than the other warranty companies out there.
Well, it looks like you guys really do have it together, and I just can know there's a lot of people, especially with our, I guess some people would argue that our aging demographic. The people with the money, they're the ones who have houses. They're the ones that need these houses maintained, and they don't want to do this themselves, right? This is out of their range, and they can hammer a couple of things, and they're usually making things worse, it would seem a lot of times. But you pay for the things that get done right, and it saves you money in the long run.
Well, there is that, but there's also, you know, everybody talks about the millennials, and now they're moving into the housing market. Okay, and they don't want to do the work on the home. You know,
they were stuck behind a computer the whole time.
They may be able to figure it out, you know, by watching a YouTube video or something, but they don't want to do it. And so we're finding that a larger and larger portion of our client base is in that millennial range, getting their first home, maybe their second home, because they want to have somebody take care of these things that they don't want to mess with.
Okay, and now you're hitting on all the important stuff. It's literally a matter of, it's not like if you're going to have some issues with your house that you're going to have have maintained and upgraded or fixed. It's a matter of when. And then it is, did you wait so long that now the whole thing's broken down? I had an issue that I had to go in and pay for my repair myself. Freon leak.
Oh yeah.
How often is that something that happens? People don't realize, what's a Freon? Well, it's part of the air conditioning unit, right? But if you've got a leak, now you don't have the pressure, the PSI, they got to be pumping in Freon. And now your air conditioner doesn't cool because that's what makes the air cool inside the device. These are the little things that people just don't even, how often, here's another one for you. How often is it the case where you've recognized something, you can hold the manufacturer to the fire or the person that's going to be doing his repair? If they were to call my own person, he's going to tell me, and I know this happened to me once. He goes, "Oh yeah, Carter. Well, oh boy, this is a mess, man. And here's what you've got to get done, and it's going to, and you need to add a flow sensor and a discombobulator, and he was just giving me the whole rundown. And if I didn't know any better, maybe I even got taken a little bit on this one. I was like, how much do I owe for all this now? I can't argue with the guy because that's not my expertise. That's something that kind of goes along with what you do. You can say, no, wait a minute, that isn't what happened here.
Well, again, we're taking care of the house, though.
Right.
You know, so because there's no charge for us to come out and do those maintenance amendments. That's the maintenance program 4 times a year. That's part of the program. The only additional charge they have is if they have a claim, which means they either have a repair or a replacement issue that needs to be taken care of. And that's $75, you know, inclusive, parts and labor. So, but what that home manager also does that I mentioned earlier is when they go into the home to get a record of the things that we're covering, we're getting pictures of what we're covering and as well as their models and serial numbers. Okay? We're tracking the model numbers
Okay.
of these things. So if a manufacturer announces a recall on a particular type of a washer or whatever, we can go through our database and say, oh, which one of our customers has that model number? And then we can inform them and let them know so that they can get the proper repair or replacement from the manufacturer due to the recall notice. Because car manufacturers, we're all used to dealing with recall from car manufacturers, right? They have to let their consumer know that there's a problem with this car. It's the same thing with appliances, but sometimes the stores that people are buying the appliances from don't have the records as thorough as they need, so the manufacturer may not be able to contact the homeowner directly.
Right.
Right? Okay. We've got the records, so we can help
Now,
them.
you know who you're talking to. You're essentially the caretaker for the home there to
Yeah.
help these issues be resolved. You really got me going now. So this is dynamite. I can't imagine everybody who owns a home shouldn't have some kind of policy like this in place.
Right.
Boy, when you hit with me with that last little touch there, that was how many people like, well, I guess I just need to buy a new unit.
Sure.
Right? And how often could that have been circumvented, or should have been, or at least that's not what really is the issue.
Exactly.
I know how many times somebody comes in and says, you might as well just get a whole new unit. No, it was this little valve was loose over here. And these people come in and do that. And that's the kind of stuff you can help people protect themselves.
We do.
And maintain and say, we've serviced this event. That is not the problem.
Right.
Don't try to sell these guys a $4,000 unit, because that is not at all what the issue is. Minor tweak. We've been done the maintenance. Here's our records.
Here you go.
Fix it under warranty.
That's
or fix it. And really save people.
Right.
I mean, are you getting it? You're like paying for people's vacations now, because
Yeah.
they're saving
That's
so
a good
much
way of
money,
putting it.
right?
Yeah, right.
If I just save $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000, man,
Sure.
that's a nice vacation.
Absolutely.
I'll do that a couple times. And
Yeah.
now, boy, put my money. What's the stock market? If I got $10,000, I invest, and if it doubles, just throws out a little bit, 10% rate of return over 7 years, that money would have doubled.
Yeah.
You're changing people's lifestyles.
And we
here.
can, absolutely. Yeah.
That is so cool. Talk a little bit about, I've got your website up here on the TV wall. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Cardinal Cowboy TV wall behind us.
That's right, yeah.
So Kevin, upkeep.homes. I put on your title that's been shown on the screen a few times there, upkeepstl.com.
Right.
Forwards on to, this is your main site. So just to make it a little easier for some people, they need
Yep.
to see that .com, and I
Right.
get that. And very unique, I like this. And it goes to the main site you've got, upkeep.homes.
Exactly right.
And so then you go there, and here's what you get to look at. Walk us through a little bit of what you would recommend people notice on your website. If they were to say, all right, go over here, and you said to me a little bit, I like how you got this button right up at the top corner there, get started. No real confusion there.
Right.
What do I need to do to get this thing going? Click get started. Is that where I should go first?
That's when you're actually ready to order. So most people are going to kind of go through the home page, maybe scroll down, see what's there. But the home warranty page part of it, that button there, when you click on that, it's going to take you to a separate page, and you can scroll down. Oops, did you get it? There we go.
There we go.
Scroll down, and here is this little 2-minute explainer video.
Okay.
Okay. And you simply click on that, and you'll recognize the YouTube symbol.
Right.
And it will play that video for you and covers a lot of the highlights of what we do.
Right.
And that way help answer a lot of the questions that the people have. So
Okay.
take a little bit of time.
There it goes. Well, we're uploading and downloading here
Yes, there
live.
we go,
So
that's right.
But there it is. So 2 minutes to understand the concept,
Yeah.
essentially, for what you've got going on with your business, and it's right there on the
Right.
home warranty page. I was on our slide. That's why when I was clicking, I'm like, that's not the. That's
Oh,
the,
I got you.
That's the
Yeah, yeah.
slide, because this is that we present in a large way here.
Exactly,
At the Cardinal
right,
Cowboy
right.
Studio. But your website looks good on this TV wall, I hope, also. So here it is at the live website on the TV wall.
Yeah.
What's included? Should we show people?
Sure,
that?
go ahead.
Okay.
And then down here, you can scroll up, and it's going to show you what the warranty covers. We have.
Yeah,
so
and you can stand up if you want to.
I'm going to get out of the way here a little bit. But we have the covered warranty items, covered maintenance items. And so over here, it talks about covering the full HVAC system, appliances, plumbing, electrical systems, as I mentioned, including the garage door opener. And then the box on the right is the covered maintenance items. And so we're going to checking and maintaining electrical systems, and we're doing the spring and fall clean and check on the HVAC. We're flushing the water heater that we talked about.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll do an annual deck safety inspection in the spring, just to make sure that everything's okay. And then we do an annual exterior inspection in the fall, including getting somebody to walk the roof, just in case there's an issue up there, because we know what the weather can be like in St. Louis. And so, we can check it in the fall. We're checking, is there a problem with the tuck pointing? Is there a problem with weather stripping? Is there a problem with caulking missing? Things along those lines. Screens that might have holes in them. We can we do that, and we can simply give them a report of some things that we saw that they need to get taken care of.
Again, some kind of preventative things that could lead to much bigger problems. I know the caulking issue.
Yes.
I've applied some caulk a number of times, and it's a matter now that water gets in there that causes a leakage problem.
Yes.
Now you got a roof failing.
Yep.
The decking issue is you're talking about saving lawsuits potentially, right? Somebody there's one of your wood panels on the floor.
Yep.
Somebody puts a leg through there.
That's right.
Breaks a leg.
Yeah.
Boy, you save a whole lot of hassle there.
Absolutely
And this is all stuff that you guys will do to help keep everybody on task.
Exactly.
So that they're not as big a liability.
That's right.
For their
trying to help them out.
Right. and on top of that, fixing it all if it does break. For all those things that you cover, just a long list of great stuff you do.
Right.
Well, that's awesome. If somebody want to get a hold of you guys, what's the easiest way? What would you recommend? Somebody said, go to the website, fill out the form. Is there a phone number?
There's a phone number on there.
Contact.
Contact, and then there's a form. The info at upkeep.homes. We have an office in Cottleville. That's where we're based.
Yeah.
Okay. And then of course the phone number is right there if they have any other questions. You can submit a claim here if you're a client. If you're ready to order, you simply go to the Get Started button, and it walks you through the process of doing so.
I'm trying to zoom in here. I like your.
There's the thing.
There we go.
Contact.
So if somebody wants to see, there's that number, 636-387-7331.
Right.
Upkeep.homes.
Yes.
And your office right here in Cottleville. I've probably been right next to you. How far are you from BMO's?
We're in the same building.
In the same building. Okay.
That Synergy Center that they have, with the shared office space. That's where we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Local business doing a great job helping St. Louis upkeep their homes.
That's right.
And save a lot of money in the process.
Right.
Doing great things in our community.
Very good.
Kevin, thank you for coming on
Carter,
the
thank you.
Cardinal Cowboy Show.
I appreciate it.
Great stuff that you do. I've known you, like I said, I wouldn't even have you on if I didn't know you well and think this is a guy that represents St. Louis and has done good things for our community.
Appreciate
that.
And
we want to keep that up. One last question. Are you a Cardinal fan?
Well, I grew up in St. Louis.
How can you not?
Yeah, it's a birthright.
Absolutely. And if it wasn't for our St. Louis Cardinals, I mean, this city, we talk about that a little bit, and I want to share that because it's hard to find somebody that isn't a Cardinal fan that lives in St. Louis. There's people that have just moved to St. Louis, and they'll say, well, I think, I've heard about these Cardinal guys. That's a little bit. I'm like, no. Do you want to have a successful business in St. Louis? You need to be a Cardinal fan. That is a matter of fact. And so give us your one favorite Cardinal memory, if you would.
I was at the game where Bob Gibson got hit and broke his leg.
You were there. You
I was
saw
there.
That.
I saw that.
That was a little before my time, but
yeah, I'm a little older than you are.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't recall. When did he retire?
Oh gosh, I don't remember that. But I remember the game, and the ball hit him in the leg, cracked one of his bones. He finished the inning, and then he walked off and collapsed, and so. That one is one of my favorite. The other one's another Bob Gibson moment is when Mike Schmidt hit his first home run off Bob Gibson. Okay, Bob Gibson didn't like anybody hitting home runs off him, right? I mean, it was something that really infuriated him, but he really didn't like it if it was a rookie. And so here was Mike Schmidt, rookie year. He had a monstrous home run off Gibson. And if you also have ever watched Mike Schmidt, he kind of lollygagged around the bases when he hit a home run.
Yeah.
Not this time. He was running around the bases. And the whole time he's got his head down going, I'm sorry, Mr. Gibson. I'm sorry, Mr. Gibson. And Gibson is just glaring at him all the way around the bases. Because he knew, next time up, he knew he was going to get hit.
I was going to say, so is the follow-up always you're getting plunked if you hit a home run
Plunked
off?
right in the thigh.
that was generous.
That was Gibson.
The thigh, you hit somebody in the ribs, that one hurts for a little while longer. I had one in the ear once. I popped the eardrum.
Ow.
Kept playing because we only had 9 players. This is the men's only.
Yeah.
But these guys would throw low 90s, some of them. And I don't know if he's throwing it at my head intentionally. I don't know if I just didn't have
But still, yeah.
But I heard it pop, but I had to take the base. I went down, my ear was bleeding. But hey, man, these athletes, we got to stay. Bob Gibson playing. I heard about that game. I didn't know anybody that was actually there. So now I can say, ladies and gentlemen, Cardinal Cowboy actually knows somebody that was at Gibson's infamous game where he pitched on a broken leg.
Yeah.
He finished that, didn't he?
That's right.
That's amazing.
Finished that.
Any other Cardinals? 82, 87, 85, obviously 2006, 2011.
2006 and 11 were always fantastic. 82, we were living in Minneapolis at the time, and so we were watching it, and just, and everybody up there was American League fans, so they were all rooting for the Brewers at that point.
Oh, no.
And so it was kind of fun going to the bars and the pubs talking about that kind of stuff, And then 85, we all remember the umpire.
Don Digginger, our good friend, yes. I've been to Kansas City Stadium a few times, and first time I went there, I brought a big sign that says, "Where's Don Digginger?" But we do love our baseball and the Cardinals, and just they do a lot to really keep the excitement. We're looking for an exciting season coming up here. Spring training not too far out right now. Hopefully it all goes off without a hitch, and the fun things we get to do.
The caravan's going on, in a couple of weeks? All virtual, but still going to be in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And so all that stuff gets coming, and it gets going. If baseball wasn't such an integral part of St. Louis community and culture, I wouldn't exist, right? The Cardinal Cowboy thing probably would not have been something that would have ever happened. But I believe baseball saved my life. I pulled the ventilator out of my own throat. A lot of people know that story.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for sports and the Cardinals, I may not even be here.
Yeah.
But a great institute. And then it's so many of our business leaders, they all kind of connect through that, it seems.
Sure.
And so I know with what you do with your business, upkeep.homes, go to upkeephomes.homes and get in touch with my buddy Kevin. Find out the good stuff that they do and get yourself a home warranty to cover and save you more money so you can buy some Cardinal tickets.
That's exactly right.
Spend more time making business connections, enjoying the fun festivities that we do get to partake of here in St. Louis with all the money that you've saved as a matter of what Kevin and his team have done for you at upkeep.homes and all the great work that they do here in St. Louis. So Kevin, appreciate you coming on the show today, and we look forward to maybe having you on every once in a while, talk a little bit more about the excitement. I've got a bunch of things we're doing within the community. I'm going to include you in, and let's make a difference here in this little community. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Tk you, Carter. All right, thanks.
Kevin Pannebecker. I said it right.
You did.
Got it right, Pannebecker. And I always knew him as Kevin. It's just Kevin. We're all on first base.
It's easy.
First name basis here in St. Louis. You're in a community. If you start calling somebody, unless you know their last name and it's something that rhymes or it's a nickname, but otherwise, Kevin, great guy. Keep it up, man. We appreciate your time here coming into our studio, and we'll look forward to hearing some more success stories and some people you've saved them a lot of money and hassle.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in to the Cardinal Cowboy Show. Stay tuned. We're going to have a lot more fun coming. St. Louis is a vibrant, fun city, and we appreciate you keeping up with us as we do so. So we'll look forward to you staying tuned to the Cardinal Cowboy Show. All right, everybody. Giddy up.
This is the Cardinal Cowboy Show.
Giddy up!